What's up, y'all? In today's video, we're going to be going over Meta Ads website only campaigns versus Meta Ads website plus shop campaigns and how to use them the most effectively. Before we dive in, for anyone that's new on this channel, I want to introduce myself. My name is Mason Littlejohn. I've spent over $320 million on Meta Ads alone, and I've generated more than $1.6 billion in Meta Ads attributable revenue, and I've scaled a single brand to over $500 million a year, 3 years in a row in North America, and launched this brand into the UK, into Europe, into Australia, and went from 0 to 8 figures in less than 12 months during all of those launches. So the reason I say this, and why I share this with you, so you understand from the point of view that I am bringing all this information. I also run my own agency called We Are The Select, and I also run a Meta Ads coaching program called Meta Ads at Scale, which is the first coaching program that helps e-commerce brands at any stage of growth scale profitably with Meta Ads. And so I give you this information so you don't think I'm just some random dude off the streets that ran Meta Ads one time. I come with a wealth of knowledge and a completely different perspective than most of the people that you may be listening to. And the reason I'm going to be talking about website only campaigns and website plus shop campaigns is because of a tweet that came up a few days ago. And this is the tweet that I was talking about from a really respected guy named David Herman. I don't personally know him, but know he is a Meta Ads G. But what he did say was that he'd officially turned off Meta Shops for a brand because it was driving really low ROAS and poor audience and conversion rate, and it was affecting other channels. So the site quality across the board kind of improved after they went back to website only. And so I replied to this tweet because I have been saying this since day one, and I will give you guys a little bit more clarity on this. But since website shops came out, I've always preached that you should run website only campaigns and run website shop campaigns. One of the big reasons why you want to do this, because if you do run website plus shop only campaigns, you actually can't switch back to website only campaigns if they don't do well. You get caught in a predicament where you have to launch everything from scratch. So big reason why you don't want to do that. And I'm gonna go over a wide variety of other reasons why I believe you should be running both website campaigns and website plus shop campaigns. So before we dive into the implications of website plus shops campaigns and how to utilize them effectively, I want to take us back on a little bit of a history lesson to when the website plus shops campaigns first came out. And so when they first came out, everyone was raving about them. They gave you lower CPAs. It was the best thing in the world, right? You should switch everything over to website shops campaigns, right? And so whenever everyone is just raving about something, you always got to be like, okay, we shouldn't completely just go all in on this, right? And so that was my first thoughts, and really, it was a little bit of a fluff, right? Meta was subsidizing these campaigns with offers, much like what TikTok Shop ended up doing, right? They were doing no fees, right? They were also giving offers, right? 10 or 15% off offers on these shops. So again, of course, people are going to buy off the shop, right? And the reason why Meta did this because they needed user adoption of Facebook IG shops. They needed to get credit cards in there, right? And they needed to get people to start getting comfortable using their shop platform. Again, nothing wrong with that, expected. However, something seemed off to me when I started diving into these campaigns deeper, especially on a specific consulting client that had switched everything over to website shops campaigns. And something really stuck out to me was that before they had ran website plus shop campaigns, their outbound cost per clicks were like $1 to $2. And then when they switched over to website shops campaigns, their outbound CPCs went anywhere from $5 to $15 plus. And so what that meant was that Meta was sending the majority of their traffic now to the Meta shop, right? And those aren't considered outbound clicks. And that is why the unique outbound CPCs went up so much. And then another thing that started to seem off was just they started to auto opt you into these website shop campaigns, right? And then they started to say, oh, this is the best practice. This is what you should be doing, right? And so whenever they start just doing these things, I'm a natural rebel rule breaker. I'm like, screw you guys, right? I'm gonna do my own thing. But in reality, there's a lot of reasons why implications of the website shops and why you should think about running both of them at the same time. When you think about website shops, there's really two lenses that you should look at it through. The first lens is from the meta side, right? Is what is Meta's goal with website plus shops? And what is website plus shops really? And really, in my opinion, it's an avenue for Meta to double dip on advertising and make extra fees, right? So they're already making money off you spending money on your ads. However, they're not making any money on the transaction side, right? So now they want you to go through the shop and get that transaction fee versus only Shopify getting that, right? So they're able to double dip on the ad spend. And so the second lens, though, is from the brand's point of view. So this is from a brand, after you understand Meta's goal for the website shops, the lens for the brand is like, how can we maximize the situation while also not being naive about the implications? And how can we cover our asses, right? What if shops goes down and you're only running website shops, right? And they're sending all your majority of your traffic to shops, right? Meta does have bugs. This stuff happens, right? And so these are the things you should be thinking about, right? But what I really think about is like, how does a website shops only campaign impact the algorithm? And how does a website only campaign impact the algorithm? And so a website only and a website shops campaign they're vastly different, because one tells the algorithm, hey, find people that buy from our website or who will buy from our website, right? The other one says, hey, I'll go find people who could buy from our website or buy from our shop, right? And so those are two different paths, right? Versus just one path, right? And so because of this, you can actually run the same ads in both campaigns and get double the scale, because these are technically quite different campaigns. And this is what I do for a lot of my biggest brands. And sometimes one works better than the other, right? So you move budget from the one that's working better, right? Sometimes both are pumping and you're scaling them both at the same time. And I've even seen sometimes CPMs are higher on one or the other. So there is some value in having both of these. The main point that I want to illustrate is that I've been able to carry higher average daily budgets while hitting above target goals by running both at the same time, because we're giving the algorithm different jump off points. And audience overlap is really a myth. I've spent regularly 200 to 300K a day on a single brand in North America on an evergreen basis. And I've even spent 1.5 million in a day before on Black Friday. And I've ran a million of the same campaign types and audiences and really haven't seen any negative effects. And really, the algorithm's so good now that if both things are bidding on the same users, yeah, one wins the bids and that's fine. Who says it's not a big deal? Yeah, one of the ads ends up winning the bids, or one of the campaigns ends up winning the bids, right? So it's really actually not a big deal. But there is implications to think about with the website shops that I think are quite important. So number one is, how important is the net new user experience on your website versus the shop? Meaning someone who has never heard about your brand before, do you want them learning all about your brand through your Facebook IG shop? Is that a good representation of your brand? Or would you rather have someone going to your website, right? And so if you're only doing website shops, there's a high likelihood that a lot of these new people are going to be introduced to your brand, not have the best experience on your shop, and may never come back again, right? So that's already a reason why you should be running both. So you're giving yourself the chance to get as many people to your unique website experience. Two is thinking about what is the lifetime value of a shop customer versus a website only customer. My hunch is that a website customer is probably going to have a higher LTV, have more affinity to your brand than someone who's just bought through the shop. Very similar to Amazon, right? People who buy on Amazon, they don't really have any brand loyalty at all, right? And so really something to think about. What is the long-term implications of which customer is more valuable, a Facebook IG shop customer or a website customer, right? And number three is Meta pushing people to your Facebook IG shop that shouldn't be actually pushed to your shop? They say, oh, we're sending people to the best destination, right? But in the long run, their goal is to compete with Shopify, right? Which means over time they want to push more and more people to shops. And the way you can see this already, like I mentioned earlier, was that the high outbound CPCs typically in every website shop campaign. I'm going to show you a campaign right now, but you'll see that these are the exact same campaigns, and the CPCs are 50 cents higher. And one's like $1 clicks, one is $1.50 clicks. One has a higher CPM than the other one as well, right? And so Meta is treating these campaigns differently. Obviously, as they should, they're sending some people to the shop. However, you have to be aware, that this is happening. And number four is, some people will never buy from Facebook and Instagram shop. They just don't trust Meta after all the Cambridge Analytica stuff, the Zuckerberg stuff with all the elections, all that stuff, CUFID. So therefore, if you're only running website shop campaigns and you run out of people who would convert right via shop, your campaigns are going to crash because there's literally no people left. So that's literally what might happen in that campaign, where they ran out of people who would convert from shop, and Meta just kept sending people to the shop, right? And so again, this is something you have to think about, right? Because Meta has a lot of incentive to push people to the shop, even at the expense of the advertiser, right? And number five here is that there is a limited pool of people who buy from Facebook and Instagram shops. Yes, it's probably growing slowly daily, but it only grows by Meta continuing to force more people to the shop versus a website, right? And so do we really think Meta is always looking for the best destination all the time, or are they trying to convert people over from website to a website, or from website to a shop customer, right? And that is what I think they are slowly trying to do over time, and why certain brands are falling into situations like this, where they're seeing their traffic quality just drop because Meta is most likely driving people to the shop that should not be driven to the shop, right? And just the traffic in general. I mean, even if they are being driven to the website, seems like the traffic was low quality there as well. And number six here, I mean, it's just my Meta reps are always trying to get me to just do more website shops all the time, which means it is a priority for them. They're continuing to push it, right? And so in conclusion, there's nothing wrong with website plus shops. I literally run both of them, which reminds me, I need to show you the campaign. But you just have to be aware of what's happening on the Meta side, because they are trying to overtake Shopify. They have a responsibility to earn more, provide more shareholder value, right? So they have to get that shareholder value from something. Advertising dollars is just not enough anymore, right? So just have to be aware of that. And again, I recommend running both at the same time, because you can literally get double the scale, right? It's a different jump off point for the algorithm. You can run the same ads, and many brands in my coaching program at Ads at Scale have done this successfully and scaled insanely fast by doing website only and website shop campaigns that are literally clones of one another. So let's dive in quickly into an ad account where I have website and website shops. Yeah, so I wanted to just dive in and show you these top two campaigns. So these are literally the exact same campaigns here. This is Q4. And so this is a website only campaign, and this is a video plus shops campaign. As you can see, we spent literally almost the exact same on them. Very similar performance as well. However, the website only actually beat the website shops by about $2 CPA. At about, I said 50 cent less clicks, actually 40 cent cheaper clicks. So again, obviously all this traffic was going to the website. And there isn't much of a discrepancy actually, because for this brand specifically, their users like to buy from the website more. So Meta actually has diverted a lot of traffic away from their shop. But in other situations, that is not the case, right? And so it's just something to be aware of. And another thing here I wanted to point out, yeah, the CPMs are about almost $2 more on the shops versus the website, right? Meaning there's maybe a smaller pool of people, right, that buy from shops, so therefore it might be more expensive to reach them. Who knows, right? And so just wanted to illustrate and show you guys this, that this is kind of the findings I have, and that I have the proofs in the pudding. I do run both at the same time. I'm not just running one. And yeah, there could be an argument, well, you could have just run one or the other and you would get the same result, right? But again, because of all those implications and because of all those reasons that I outlined, that is why I also run both, because it's a hedge, right? If for some reason the web's video plus shops dies, I have this one, right? I don't have to launch from scratch, right? And so And again, audience overlap is a complete myth. It really does not matter. So, there's no reason why I shouldn't run both, right? Well, that's a wrap. Thanks for listening to me ramble on about website plus shop only campaigns. Some really nerdy stuff. If you're really into meta ads, then you might have found it interesting. If you're not really into meta ads, then you're probably like, why does this guy care so much about this? However, if you have any questions, any comments, hit the comments underneath this video. And if you are interested in scaling your brand with meta ads on the agency side with Really Select, I take on very few brands. You gotta be at least doing 8 figures a year in revenue. And again, I personally run your ads. That is why we only take on select brands. But on the Meta Ads at Scale side, if you're a brand under 7 figures, check out Meta Ads at Scale, my one-on-one coaching program where I help brands 7 figures and under scale with meta ads. Thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. I'll see you next time.